would you use this? And then come up with your like, what if? So what if you're doing the interactive notebook and this happens? Did anyone have any questions or anything that they wanted to share out, or what ifs that they're not sure about so far from what we've presented? Okay. So like I said before, everything I first wrote down in my notebook is in red. So as you see here, all the black, that was my level 1, my level 2, and my level 3 questions. So we went back underneath the examples and wrote in the questions, and those questions should help lead me through how to answer these questions when I'm studying. All right, so then the next day they come in. So we've already gone back through our notes once to come up with our questions. The next day for a warm-up or an exit ticket or something, you give them this problem. And this problem just says, work with partner to find the errors. There's multiple errors in this problem. So this is the second time they're going to repeat and go back through their notes. They have to look through their notes to see what's different in this problem than what we did yesterday. What misconceptions or mistakes did they make? So again, it's just it's nothing huge. Just go back, do an error analysis, and find, have them scan through their notes. So that's the second repetition they see.
So same thing with the Cornell notes. They're already, if you do the actual paper, there's already a box on the bottom for summary. But if you have them draw it kind of like he did with us and just chunk it up, don't do anything with the summary until the very end, and you leave that space for the kids. This is where you would have them revisit, and if possible, revisit at the end or beginning of a different class down the road. This way, you get back to that repetition, have them go back through their notes, and so this is where you have them write kind of the gist of what they're doing, what they believe their main idea is. From that, you would, like what we had us do was highlight vocab words, circle book formulas that we would need, and then kind of come up with a 3 to 5 sentence summary of what that whole unit or that whole lesson was.
So then, because I didn't really know what was going on, I didn't do this perfectly. But if you look, I rewrote my summary down here. Because what you see, and in doing this, I thought this was the most annoying thing in the world. Going to the left side, then the right side, and where do I write this? And it was just, the first time I did it was kind of a mess. But then as soon as I stepped away, and I wish I could zoom out on this more, and looked at my notes, there was an exact, I knew where the essential question was. I could see everything the teacher told me to write down and all the notes I needed to study. And then at the bottom was a clear end of where my notes ended. So if you ever had to look back at something and say, okay, I need to go over this again, all of your notes you need are right here, the summary where you can just look at it and hopefully just get a quick reminder. And then again, if I needed to study, just fold it over, and there's the first question, and I can work out the problem myself and then check my work. So that's kind of how that goes.
So then this is just kind of, we've already talked about it briefly, in the left side ends up being a chicken scratch. And initially we had come up with some ideas that history, that English, the electives, science, what you guys would come up with, but I don't know what you guys would do. And so this is kind of where we would talk, where we want you guys to kind of discuss what would that left side look like. The right side is the Cornell notes part. We're familiar with that, pretty well familiar. The left side is where that interactive notebook comes in, where the kids are doing some work. So talk amongst yourselves as to what those ideas would look like for your subject area. What do you see being that left side where that student work is that's kind of their own process, their own ideas? The easiest one we came up with was quick writes. A lot of classes, a lot of subject areas, you guys do that. And that is one basic example. How could you guys push that further?